Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing so well. I'm so happy to be here with you, and I want to share some of my personal stories and some of my tips and insights on something that's really near and dear to my heart, especially as of lately. And as you might have been able to tell by the title of this video. So let's get right into it. As you may know, I have recently done a cross-country road trip from Ohio to Arizona, and previous to that, I actually was in Croatia for a few months. And with all of that going on in my world, I have gotten a lot of questions and comments from people close to me, sometimes strangers, acquaintances, family friends, family members, asking me, Nicole, how do you feel safe enough to road trip across the country or fly internationally solo as a young woman? And these are very valid questions, and a lot of people are asking them out of curiosity, actually for themselves, because they would like to do something similar, but they are currently in a place of fear when it comes to traveling solo or doing big things on their own. And so I want to touch on that because this is huge. This is something that many of us, before we venture into it, kind of wonder, how could I do that? How do they do that? If you're watching someone else that you admire go on these solo trips or dive into really big adventures on their own. And I was there. Actually, I was admiring others who were doing big travel and seeing really cool places in the world on their own just a couple years ago. And I will say that if you are being shown a lot of people in your life or on social media, if you are being shown a lot of people doing these really big things, whether it be travel or jumping into untraditional work or whatever it may be, I know for myself that when I see something consistently and it's of interest to me or it piques my attention, I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention. The universe is showing me this reoccurring theme. And when those themes come up for me, I take that as my cue to look into that, to start seeing how I could maybe show up that way in my life or try on this new, whatever it may be, whether it be a healing practice or a modality or, like I said, travel or a job opportunity. If I keep seeing something multiple times, for me, I know that that's a cue from the universe telling me, hey, Nicole, look over here. We want to get your attention. This is something that could be beneficial to you. So if you've been seeing a lot of people do solo travel or big trips, international trips, and you're wondering, how can I get there? I'm on my own. I don't even know where to begin. This video is for you because, like I said, I was in your shoes not too long ago, and I'm going to tell you everything that has helped me get to where I am now, fully confident and comfortable flying internationally solo, road tripping across the country, all of that fun stuff. So where it started for me was first getting comfortable with myself. If I'm being completely honest, I was the type of person that at one point couldn't even spend a whole day by myself. I needed, or I thought I needed, someone to be there with me, to keep me company, or to just do things with. I thought, not that I thought, but I felt uncomfortable being alone for long periods of time. And if I did go a full day, it was like, okay, I'm ready to see my friends or my family first thing the next day. But in college, I would say, is when I started to get more comfortable in my own presence. And there's a whole backstory on that I won't go too deep into, but I will tell you that I went through a breakup, and that kind of was my turning point, and actually it kind of jump-started my spiritual awakening on a personal level. But at that point, I was forced and pushed to spend more time on my own, and it was actually one of the greatest gifts that the universe could have given me, because in having that time alone and being pushed to spend more solo time, I started to get to know myself. I started to build a relationship with myself and eventually loving my solo time, loving my me time, and just taking myself out on dates. And that's how I built up the confidence, or um, that's how I got comfortable being in my own presence for long periods of time, is that I would make it fun. I would take myself out on dates. I did a lot of journaling, asking myself, how am I feeling? And I would write, you can even write, this is a really good practice if you're trying to get in touch with yourself, write a letter to yourself or write questions to yourself. And then without judging yourself, pick up a different color pen or a different color marker and write a response to that letter, or write the answers to those questions that you are asking yourself, and just let it flow. Whatever comes out, no judgment. And this, for me, is how I got in touch with my higher self, with the aspects of myself that unconditionally love me. And this is huge because our ego, or our personality, our humanness, tends to beat us up. We judge ourselves, we mock ourselves, we second guess ourselves. And yes, that's normal in our society, but it's not healthy. And there's other practices that we can start to take part in that can rewrite that for us. And this is really, really important when it comes to having the confidence to travel solo internationally, at least in my own opinion, because I'm getting to this, but basically the bottom line is, if you don't feel safe within your own presence, you're not going to feel safe going on trips by yourself. You're not going to feel safe in the container that you hold. So for me, I would say that the first step was spending more time alone, spending more time with myself, getting in touch with myself through journal practices such as asking myself questions and answering them, or writing letters to myself, or even getting the voice memos app out on my phone, and when I'm driving or whatever, having a conversation with myself, letting myself know what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, where I'm at, what I'm moving through. Because yes, we have this internal dialogue, but we kind of get stuck in our heads. We don't even fully anchor into our bodies when we're so caught up in our monkey mind or our thoughts. So sometimes just speaking them out loud to yourself, and for me, I don't know why, I feel more confident or comfortable doing that on a voice memo, because I feel like I'm talking to someone, but it's really just to myself, and I'm the only one that's maybe going to hear it later if I decide to listen to it. But that has been really helpful for me, because once I start speaking out loud, I can see where I'm coming from. I can start to understand why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, because it's being shown to me in my own words. And what else? So journaling, voice memos, taking myself out on solo dates, just spending ample time alone, whether it be in your own house or wherever. All of this for me were little stepping stones that built up my confidence and got me comfortable in my own presence. As crazy or silly as that may sound, many of us are not comfortable in our own presence. And if we are okay with being alone, you'll tend to find that many people my age and younger have the phone in their hand, and we're scrolling social media because we feel less alone looking at other people's pictures or videos or lives on our screens. And so I have done many different social media detoxes while I was going through this process of getting comfortable in my own presence. But you'll know when you're confident and comfortable in your own presence and when you're not. If you really tune in and ask yourself, could I spend a week by myself? If that makes you cringe, or you're like, heck no, then your chances are you're not confident and comfortable in your own presence. And that's okay, but you need to take steps and practice getting comfortable in your own presence. It's almost like meeting someone new, meeting a new friend. At first, you're like, yeah, I can take them in small doses, but the more time you spend with them, the more you get to know them, the more confident and comfortable you are in their presence. And you start to Be yourself in their presence. And so the same thing goes for our internal relationship with self. If we're not spending enough time with ourselves, then we're probably not comfortable with ourselves. The second thing that I would say is once you're comfortable with yourself and you feel safe within yourself, which comes from all those practices that I mentioned, you also, for me, I had to have a level of trust and relationship with God or source or whatever higher power you believe in, the universe, if that's what you use. But you have to have trust in the higher power or feel trust in your own divinity, your own guidance, knowing that you are watched over and protected and that you're never alone. So for me, I have a relationship with God, Source, Prime Creator, and I know that the same God that watches over me lives within me. And I am one with Prime Creator, with Source. And so this also came with time. Even if you are maybe a religious person or a spiritual person or someone that has that belief and that knowing that there is a higher power, I would say that it also takes trust in that higher power and a strong relationship with that higher power to give us the confidence that we need to go out and do really huge things. So for me, what this looked like is from a young age, I have believed in God. I have believed in the light within me, but it was all kind of told to me and I believed it, but I didn't necessarily feel it and know it in every single cell of my being until more recently, a few years ago, when I really got deeply rooted in my faith and in my trust in the universe. So this grows again with practice and through intention. So for me, I would say that through my prayers and through I call them meetings with my divine team, I have really built up a really strong and sturdy relationship with the higher power within me and the higher power all around me. So I will tell you a little bit about what that looks like. When I have a meeting with my divine team, as I call it, I'm calling in all my angels. I'm calling in God. I'm calling in my higher self. And I'm saying, hey everyone, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm feeling right now. These are my goals. These are my intentions. Please, can you assist me in this? Please, can you give me strength? Can you walk hand in hand with me as I move through this difficult situation? Whatever it is that you're going through, I verbalize the assistance that I'm asking for. I verbalize how I'm doing in this present moment. I say to my divine team, to my angels, to my higher self, I'm feeling this. Can you please assist me and help me move through this? Can you please show me the way, light my path? And as I say this, again, out loud or write it in a journal, I have this knowingness in my heart and in my body that they are listening and that I have just been given the help and assistance that I need. And I will see this play out in my life. You may not receive it in the way that you anticipated receiving it. It may not come in the physical box that you had envisioned, but all of the assistance that you ask for is given to you in some way or another. And it may even look like a different situation, circumstance, or opportunity being presented to you that you had no idea was possible, but through that, you get the answers to your prayers. So it's not black and white, but building up my relationship with God, with the higher power, has really given me a lot of faith and trust in knowing that I am never alone, that I am always supported, that I am always watched over because I have a relationship with my divine team. I talk to them consistently. I pray to God and I know that He hears me. If I just said, oh yeah, I believe in God and I believe that I'm watched over by the universe, okay, but if you don't fully believe in it, if you don't fully feel supported by that higher power, then of course you're not going to feel safe. Of course you're not going to feel protected because you don't quite believe that you are. But I would say for me, building up this practice where I have a relationship with the higher power within me, with my divine team, with God, then I can feel the presence of them. And that allows me to know that I am never alone and that I am capable of all things. So that is what I would say is the second step for me that has led to finally feeling comfortable road tripping across the country and flying internationally solo, just jumping into really big, exciting opportunities. This is the second thing that has assisted me. And the next one that I would say is that realizing when I had this click in my mind, it was huge for me. And I hope that I can assist you in having that same click. So once we realize that we can either live our lives in fear or we can live our lives in trust, it's one or the other. You can't live in fear while simultaneously having trust. It doesn't work. They cancel each other out. They don't exist together. When I realized this, it was like a holy cow moment. I was like, okay, I am not going to cut myself off from trust and everything that can await me on the other side of trust by choosing to live in fear. Because when I live in fear, I box myself in. I stay right here because I'm afraid of moving forward. I'm afraid of what might happen on the other side of my next step. And fear paralyzes you. I'm not saying that I never feel fear. I do, but I pull myself back into trust as soon as I recognize it. Another way that I have been able to choose trust more easily is that if I feel myself coming into fear, I say, okay, pause. I need to zoom out. And I envision myself zooming out on my life and looking at myself from above. And I see little Nicole, and then I see the path of fear and how far that can take her. It's not very far. And then I see little Nicole, and on the other side, there's a path of trust. And I really, truly visualize and observe the two paths. And I say, okay, by going down this road that I'm on right now, I'm moving into fear. Fear is going to paralyze me and halt everything that I am moving towards. It's going to stop me in my tracks. I also see that I have the option or the opportunity to choose trust. Okay, what may that look like? If I choose trust, I can choose to see what happens. I can choose to walk a little bit further and see what awaits me on the other side. It could be really, really amazing, but I'll never know if I stay here paralyzed in fear. So when I zoom out and I give myself that perspective on, okay, there's two choices. I always have two choices. I can choose fear or I can choose trust, and they will lead me down different paths. That gives me the awareness to say, okay, I am choosing to live my life in faith, in trust, because I no longer want to be paralyzed by fear. And this is huge, you guys. If you practice this, if you put this into action in your life and start asking yourself, am I choosing fear or am I choosing trust? I have two choices. You will be surprised by how much you will begin moving forward and unlocking amazing opportunities for yourself. I promise. But it takes that awareness and that consciousness to say, okay, I don't want to live in fear. I'm choosing the path of trust. And when you do that, you have no idea what awaits you on the other side. It's the most beautiful thing to be presented with the gifts that the universe has in store for you after you choose trust. And it just opens up so many different opportunities, so many different outcomes, because you're no longer closing yourself in, and you can think of yourself as opening up all doors, all avenues, because you've chosen to release yourself from fear. So that has been so big for me. And like I said, it doesn't mean that you never feel fear. Don't beat yourself up. Don't go too hard on yourself. Of course, we all encounter moments of fear, but you don't have to choose to stay in them for very long. The next tip or trick that I would give you is, and it goes very hand in hand with choosing trust over fear, is consciously choosing growth and wanting to expand from your comfort zone. Now, comfort zone is of course comfortable. It's in the word. It feels comfortable. You're safe. You know what to expect in your comfort zone. And it can be scary to move from that place, but it can also provide you with huge reward and a lot of unexpected joy. So for me, I look at my life as a mystery school. And when you look at your life as a mystery school, you start realizing that every experience, every opportunity, every environment is a playground, essentially, for you to learn and explore what life has in store for you, what lessons you have to learn, what maybe triggers you have to process, or healing you have to move through. Life is a mystery school. When I say that, it helps me to, one, not take it so, I take it seriously, but I'm not looking at it as, I don't know, so rigid. I'm looking at it as, okay, if I get an A, amazing. If I get a B, that's still amazing. I'm still moving on. I'm still up leveling myself. But when I was in my 3D state of mind, where I was in my more traditional state of mind, I would get so caught up on everyday decisions. I would think, I'm going to make either the right choice or the wrong choice. And if I make the wrong choice, then, oh my gosh, everything is ruined. But no, that's not the case. Your life is a mystery school, and no matter what choice you make, it's going to provide you with some sort of opportunity for growth, for expansion, for up leveling. It doesn't matter what you choose. Every choice, every decision has something in store for you, has something to offer you. And that's the fun, is living in this mystery school where there is so much to learn from and grow through, that our choices, our experiences, the things that we move through are all bonuses that we are experiencing along the way. So when I look at myself as I'm living a mystery school, I know that the universe is presenting me with opportunities where I can up level. And I know that I don't want to stagnate. I want to keep growing. I want to keep learning. And that's what makes it fun. So, for example, let's look at my life. When I was back in end of May, June, so like almost like 8 or 9 months ago at this point, I don't know, I was presented with the opportunity to go to the UK. And I had never flown internationally solo before. I had only flown internationally once, and that was with my mom when I got this offer or this opportunity. And I was still at that point, that many months ago, living my life like a mystery school. And I said to myself, do I really want to pass up this opportunity just because I'm scared? Just because I might have some fear here? Just because it's outside of my comfort zone and I've never done anything like this before? I don't want to pass up this opportunity. This is an amazing opportunity. It could be so fun if I have faith, if I trust, and if I allow myself to experience it. Who knows what could come out of it? So I went for it. And let me tell you, that one choice and that one experience opened so many doors for me, not only on a professional level or a personal level, but also with my confidence to do everything that I've done since. To live in Croatia for 3 months, to road trip across the US by myself, to live a month in a state that I've never been to before. All of these things have been possible for me because I said yes to that decision. And that opened doors to other opportunities, other experiences, and built my confidence up so that I could experience the life that I'm living now. So the message with this one is, don't take your life so seriously. Don't get caught up in all of the what ifs, and instead ask yourself, could this be really fun? Could this be an opportunity to learn, to grow, to expand? Does it feel exciting to me? If yes, go for it. Do it. Jump in. Have faith, have trust, and know that you are always being watched over. You are never alone. You are fully guided, and you will know when and if you need to make a change or make a detour in your journey. You will know, you will be guided, and have fun with it. That, again, opened so many doors for me once I just started consciously choosing growth and choosing expansion over stagnation. And the next one, and probably I would say the last and final one that I really think is important, is to put into perspective that it's okay if other people are not yet comfortable with the decisions that you are making. You have to be okay with other people maybe disagreeing with you, and also not expecting yourself to comfort them based on your life decisions. I recently wrote a post, I don't know, a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, that said, stop comforting others based on your life decisions. And that speaks volumes, because I know for me personally, when I made some of these decisions to live in Croatia for 3 months, to road trip across the country solo, there were people in my circle, whether it be inner circle, outer circle, whatever, that said, are you sure you want to do that? Are you able to do that? Is that safe enough for you to do? I don't think that's a good idea, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on and on and on. What other people might think about your decisions has to be taken out of the equation in order for you to truly fly, and in order for you to really open yourself up to all that there is and to all that you are capable of. Because we can sometimes cut ourselves off from really amazing opportunities to grow and expand by worrying a lot about what maybe our family or our friends might think of our choices. But you are living your life. You are responsible for the choices you make. No one else is responsible for those choices. When you pass away and you reach heaven and you're reviewing your life, and God says, wow, you stayed really comfortable. You did this one thing for all of your life. Why? Why didn't you try out all of these other avenues that had really cool gifts and opportunities and experiences for you to expand your soul in? It's not going to matter what the other people thought at that point. It's not going to matter if you said, oh, my mom wasn't comfortable with me doing it, or my best friend didn't think it was safe. None of those people's opinions or perspectives matter at that point. You are living your life for you. They are living their life. They're allowed to have their opinions. They're allowed to have their thoughts or beliefs, but you don't have to own them. You don't have to allow them to stunt your growth. You are allowed to let those comments, those thoughts and opinions roll off your back, and keep doing you. Do what feels exciting to you. Believe in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, my dear, the opportunities are endless. The sky is the limit. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. And I'm talking to you from experience. I was the girl that couldn't spend a day by herself. I was also the girl that cared a lot about what other people thought and would run all of my decisions by other people that I deemed more qualified to make my decisions. But here I am now, at this point in my journey. I have flown internationally solo multiple times. I have journeyed 2,000, 3,000 miles across the US alone. I have lived in foreign states by myself for months at a time. I have lived in foreign countries for months at a time. I have done all of these things because I believe in myself, because I know that I am fully guided, I am fully protected, because I have a relationship with myself, because I want to expand, because I want to grow, because I want to evolve, and I look at my life as a mystery school, and I don't allow other people's comments, opinions, perspectives to cut me off from what I know that I'm capable of. I am able to live my life to the fullest. And I hope that this message is either inspiring or empowering or gives you some perspective into how you can begin living the life that you truly want to live. Your soul is excited to live. You feel inspired to live. I hope that this maybe gives you the confidence even to take the first step. Maybe that's taking yourself out on a solo date. Maybe that's doing one overnight at a nearby hotel and spa and treating yourself and spending that solo time building your relationship with yourself. Maybe that's starting to have meetings with your divine team and talking to God, having a relationship with Source, with the universe. Whatever it may be, my hope is that this inspires you in some way or makes a positive impact in your journey and your experiences. I love you all so much. I'm so excited to see you back here soon. Bye for now.